while watching that Aaron Hernandez documentary last night, I completely forgot about Aaron Hernandez. I think the NFL and the powers that be, whatever it was, eliminated Aaron Hernandez from the pop culture Rolodex so quickly that I completely forgot about an absolute monster that was playing in the NFL. I had just watched the People versus O.J. Simpson like 2 weeks ago, so I've been all in on these athletes that just make terrible decisions and, murder humans, basically. And the OJ one, I think, was much better done. I think it was much better done. I think this Aaron Hernandez documentary was not pieced together that great by the filmmaker, but to learn and relearn about the story was kind of shocking and honestly so depressing. I think you obviously have to feel for Odin Lloyd and the two guys that got killed inside the Boston Theater District there, and then whoever he killed in Florida and all these other, who knows, however many other people that he died, that he killed. But also, such a waste of a gifted athlete that Aaron Hernandez was. And this is the same thing that people probably felt with O.J. Simpson. Was this guy was one of the greatest athletes of all time who was just an absolute buffoon and made terrible decisions and a sociopath. And Aaron Hernandez was obviously the same exact thing. To be able to just murder people in cold blood and then piece that aside and play in an entire league, an entire game, an entire whatever, and make $40 million is just absolute insanity. And it hammered home the fact even more that your upbringing and the culture that you're around on a regular basis can change you and affect you forever. And obviously, anybody that watched the documentary last night, there was over 1 million, I guess, Google searches of Aaron Hernandez, because I think much like me, and I mean, I was in this world, I was in the NFL. The conversation about Aaron Hernandez, whenever this all came out in the locker rooms, was wild. I mean, because you're talking about, there's a lot of people in NFL locker rooms that think they're gangster, right? There's a lot of people in NFL locker rooms that come from terrible neighborhoods, so they got to put on and all that stuff. But there was nobody really about that life like Aaron Hernandez, is what we all learned very quickly. There was a chance that I dapped up Aaron Hernandez after a game, too. Like, I'm not 100% certain I did, but there is a chance that me and Hernandez dapped each other up. In that hand that I dapped up with after a game, and I think we might have beat them at that particular time or lost, one or the other, it was potentially just holding a revolver, just emptying it into a car, and then waking up the next morning and going and working out and going into a football facility and acting like nothing happened. That is such a sad, sad, sad story. Think about the Patriots, by the way. If they would have had Aaron Hernandez and Rob Gronkowski for the duration of that $40 million contract he signed, it would have been the Baltimore Ravens, what the Baltimore Ravens are right now with all the tight ends and everything like that. To Bill Belichick's credit, now he and Kraft, I mean, they brought a terrible human being into New England, which should be, there's no way anybody could have expected that a human from Bristol, Connecticut was going to go to the New England Patriots and just be a complete murderer and stuff like that. So I think what I saw from Belichick in his speech was actually pretty good leadership, where he was like, every time we bring somebody in this community, we try to do our best. Like, I think they were even blindsided by all this, as the community was. But man, this is such a sad, sad story that I watched last night, and I had completely forgot that it existed. And I would recommend everybody watch it, to be honest with you, because I think you learn a lot about not just football and the NFL and the amount of money that's made and everything like that, but you're just talking about a human that was walking amongst other humans, walking amongst elite humans. Tom Brady, showering next to Tom Brady at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then at 2 a.m., he was out at a club doing like 50-cent shots, getting upset, and emptying an entire revolver into a car, going back to bed, waking up the next morning, playing catch with Rob Gronkowski, and then put that on repeat for the next couple years. I think there's obviously a couple interesting situations where Alexander Bradley, the guy that he allegedly shot in the eye, was trying to kill him, and the Patriots set him up with a hideout apartment that was later deemed a trap house, by the way. Whenever it first came out, everybody was like, this is where he was selling drugs out of and stuff like that. He wasn't selling drugs. He was hiding out over there so that he wouldn't get killed. It was just, I think I learned a lot. I think I remembered a lot, but the only thing I took from it is just how sad, how incredibly sad it is that happens. And in very recent history, that was not that long ago, that somebody who was at the top, the peak of their life, could make decisions that would ruin not only their life, their family's life, but other human beings who had nothing to do with anything. It's just sad that that's how humans exist. And I would argue that Aaron Hernandez's mother is probably top 5 worst moms of all time.
Easily.
And it scared the hell out of me to have kids. To be honest, it scared the hell out of me to have kids, because if you're a bad parent, there's some bad things that can happen, even if that person happens to be one of the greatest athletes of all time, like Aaron Hernandez was. Well, hello there. Utilize the promo code PAYTHEBILLS and get $20 off your first order from SeatGeek. Now, back to the Magic. That was wild last night.
Did it go through and did the Patriots organization or any of the teammates or coaches or anything know that he was this type of human being outside of the locker room?
No, it felt like nobody had a clue. He had two different lives, two very different lives, I think. And the only person that probably really knew about it was his fiance, Shayana, who now, you want to talk about ride or die.
Yeah.
Shayana was a ride or die. Even when her sister's boyfriend was murdered, she was the only one that showed up at his second trial, the one that he was found not guilty. She was the only person sitting behind Aaron Hernandez. Not his terrible mom, who was just probably a massive part of this whole thing happening, but she was a ride or die. It felt like the players, though, had no clue. Mm-hmm. Like, I think the players knew that he was, maybe did the dope. Maybe he smoked the dope and things like that. But I don't think they had any clue that they were living amongst a gangster. And Tim Tebow, by the way, he has to run for president at some point. Tim Tebow has to run for president. The way he answered that, like they were obviously, Tim Tebow was with him in college. Tim Tebow was with him at the Patriots when this all happened. It was Tebow mania up there in Foxborough. And, just the way he handled that was incredible. Rob Gronkowski almost fought somebody. I think they were all heartbroken too. Like just how I feel like watching that and how I think everybody probably felt watching that is just how sad of a situation it was. Now, this is not saying I ever feel bad for Aaron Hernandez for killing those people. I feel much worse for the humans that were innocent that got murdered, obviously. But Aaron Hernandez, I would assume everybody that makes the NFL understands that, man, look at us. Like, hey, we made it, right? All of our years of hard work, all of our years of dedication, from wherever our background is, from if it's a single parent to terrible neighborhoods, we made it up here and we're like proud of each other. And then to see that colossal collapse like that just from bad decisions, I think it was very sad. And I think Gronkowski took it very, very hard, to be honest. In that documentary, there was a time where this guy, because they were in the same room. You got to remember, Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez drafted the same year. They're in the same room. And that can either be something where you hate each other or you get along. And I would assume Gronkowski and Hernandez at work got along. I would assume that that's just the way they are. Hey, we're going to work hard. We're going to get there. And I think it was heartbreaking for everybody. But boy, what a sad, sad, sad situation. I would recommend the documentary, even though I think they put it together in a trash manner. Like, I think it was put together in a trash. It was bouncing around. I think they didn't know what they wanted to do with it. But the story, just being reminded of it, was like, damn, that was not that long ago. And there's a legit chance that we hey man, what's up? And I'm just like, oh yeah, you killed maybe 25 people. It's insane that people can compartmentalize that. And then when he goes to jail, they're like, oh yeah, he was just comfortable in jail. Like, he was just happy to be there. It was like, damn, got a lifetime tat as soon as he got in there. He was in solitary confinement and still found a way to beat the hell out of somebody. I mean, it was just like, what a spectacle of a human. And then obviously they study his brain, and it comes out that he has CTE and this incredibly. Now, by the way, I think we in the world make CTE jokes on a regular basis. I think after watching that documentary, I would not do it anymore, because I honestly believe the guy had something seriously wrong with his brain. Like, I think his mom was a terrible influence on him. I think his dad was a terrible influence on him. And now, granted, he has a lot of respect for his dad for whatever reason, but I think his upbringing in that house was obviously a dysfunctional one. But I think his brain, I mean, a lot of people are going to say, like, well, that's just an excuse. That's just an excuse. But then when they put his brain next to what a normal brain looked like, there's obviously something cooking up there. I think the CTE joke should maybe relax for a little bit until we continue to learn a little bit more, because it seems like that really messed up a lot of people's lives, the way his brain was just battered and it looks smaller than other brains. It made no sense to me.
Do they frame it as that being the main linchpin for him, or is it more his upbringing?
Yes.
Because you obviously wouldn't be able to study
mom.
Okay.
The mom. If you watch that documentary, the mom seems to be the main reason. It seems to be the main reason. But that story was, I completely forgot about it. And I feel bad that I forgot that it even, like, whenever they're like, Aaron Hernandez documentary's coming out, I'm like, what else? Yeah, I remember he killed a guy, right? He killed a guy. And then you remember it's like, no, he didn't just kill a guy. He probably killed like 5 people and numerous others and all this other stuff. I mean, it was just like, it was insanity, man. And that Jose Baez guy, you ever get trapped up in a bad situation? He got Casey Anthony out of that obvious murder, and he got Aaron Hernandez out of a double murder after the jury already knew that Aaron was convicted of another murder, and he had a life sentence tattoo on his neck showing to the jury, and Jose Baez got him off of it. I don't know how that works. I have no idea how that works, but it was a very interesting situation.
All your headers in soccer, though, and all the hundreds of tackles you made in football,
Yeah.
you probably had a concussion.
Yeah.
You could make CTE jokes. That's the rule.
I think I have had a few concussions.
That's my rule.
I think I have had a few concussions, but I don't think, like, after you watch that, it's like
See, now I can't watch it. Same reason that I didn't watch Dr. Bennett Omalu.
the
Concussion?
concussion movie. Dude, it was that documentary was and you watch it and you're like, you get 10 minutes into it. I got a text from Nick when he was 8 minutes into it. He was like, just started the Aaron Hernandez documentary. Man, this is going to be sad.